morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to this Superliminal Films, Superliminal Games YouTube video. That's right, it's Dan. I'm back again, and I've got some magic content for you. What are we going to do today? Well, we're going to play a little bit of Brawl, because I've really been enjoying Brawl, since I'm not really enjoying Historic or Standard 2022 all that much. And, there's a really cool general in Brawl now. We have Volo Guide to Monsters. Blue-green is very, very near and dear to my heart, as blue-green-red is basically the only three colors I really like to play all that well. I'll play white and black, but if I have my choice, I'm going to play some combination of blue, green, and red. And Volo's really neat. Plus, he's a cool lore D&D character, and the showcase rulebook version of him is also really great. The other thing about Volo, and I'm not entirely certain why this works this way, but I know it works this way, is Volo makes mutate creatures awesome. Whenever, you copy the mutate creature, because that's what Volo does, you get multiple mutate triggers as well, because you're getting the mutate creature more than once. So it's a really poor example or a poor definition of exactly what happens, but when we get into gameplay, fortunately you'll see it. Also, by playing blue and green, we get to play some of the best cards that have been printed in the last couple of years that will be leaving Standard soon, in Once Upon a Time and Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath, both of which are a metric pile of fun if you're on the giving end, and no fun at all if you're on the receiving end. We also get to play with things like the Great Henge and just a lot of stuff that's going to be leaving Standard soon and will make everybody sad. But we also get new hits like Mind Flayer. Volo and Mind Flayer is absolutely great. Pay 5 mana, steal 2 things your opponent has on the board, and it's just a lot of fun. This deck is very capable of casting Volo on turn 3 and then casting something awesome on turn 4. Notably, I really enjoy the double Froghemoth on turn 4. 2/4/4 hastes is usually pretty good, and yeah, the deck's just it's a lot of fun. I've really been enjoying playing it. This is the third different Volo deck that I've built. Once I saw somebody else playing a Volo deck that had a bunch of mutate creatures, I went down this route. There's a couple of spots I'm not entirely in love with, like Scute Swarm. Scute Swarm is cool when you make a copy of it, and you get your landfall triggers and everything else, but the Scute Swarm line is a little too linear for me, and I kind of like the whatever, but I see it in every Volo list I look at, so I guess I have to run it. But same with Stonecoil Serpent. Late game, if you get a Stonecoil Serpent out, you can get 2 really big creatures with Reach, Trample, and Protection from Multicolored, which is very good, so especially the Reach and Pro Multicolor. So again, this is a concession to it's a very good card, and it's in all the Volo lists. So we'll take it for a Brawl spin and see how we do. Oh, come on, Q. There we go. What do we got here? We've got Baron. Alright, so mono blue. I realize you guys can't see that as it's behind my head, but you'll be able to now. Alright, we are on the play. We have 3 lands and a Humble Naturalist, so that's a turn 3 Baron, or turn 3 Volo. We can play the Scute Swarm into Solemn and get up to hopefully 6-ish lands. We can mutate a Starix onto the Solemn and get the Starix stuff. Alright, I think this is, assuming our mono blue opponent doesn't do too much to interrupt us, I think we're in pretty good lane here. Let's go ahead and let's lead on the Fabled Passage just in case. I'd like to save the Fabled Passage for Scute Swarm stuff, but if we don't draw any land between now and then, it's going to get us off playing Volo on 3, so we'll just take our Fabled Passage now and just have to get regular value out of the Scute Swarm, not maximum value. And there's Migratory Greathorn, also great Horn with Volo. Get lots of lands that way. And I'm going to assume that our opponent has counter magic here, because they're mono blue and they have 2 lands up. So I'm going to go ahead and play the Solemn and try to ramp out here. Anti-Cognition, okay. I'm kind of fine losing the Solemn there because we have plenty of ways to get mana. And if they're just going to hold up mana and not actually do anything except counter spells, alright, tutelage. So they're going to mill us. Milling us could be a little annoying, but at the same time, they put an Uro into our bin. So we'll go ahead and take this chance while they are shields down to play our Volo and attack them for 1. We'll mill 2 more. Alright, milling Gemrazor is kind of annoying. Milling Turn Timber Symbiosis is kind of whatever. The fact that they milled Uro is great because we're actually already in a place where we could escape the Uro because we have Sigma cards in our graveyard. And Baron, we'll bring Volo back to hand. So now we have Mystical Dispute, which is really nice against a blue opponent. And unfortunately we can't mutate Migratory Greathorn, but we can just cast it. So we will do that. Just cast the Greathorn. And then we can mutate. Well, we can't actually mutate the Starix. If we draw a land, we can mutate the Starix. We have a counter spell for basically anything our opponent plays here that costs more than 1 mana. The mill off the tutelage is going to be annoying, but, well, darn. I guess we have to let them play their Folio of Fancies, because they just have out to pay for the Mystical Dispute. Well, let's bump the Humble Naturalist here so we mill slightly fewer cards. And we will escape Uro. We're not getting any of this back, so we can just escape Uro. Drew a land, so that's nice. Now we can mutate the Starix onto the Greathorn and continue to thin our deck. Whoops. Oof, that kind of hurts. Losing the Great Henge there kind of hurts. But we have an Uro, which is big, and that's nice. So, we're going to attack because we want to end this game. And there we go. Bottom that because we can't mutate the Starix now, so I'm just going to play Volo, leave up blue mana for the Mystical Dispute. Come on, opponent. Having Mystical Dispute is kind of great here. It's just kind of unfortunate that our opponent also has a lot of mana. I don't necessarily know if unfortunate is the right word there, but the fact that Mystical Dispute is a soft counter is kind of annoying. There we go. Countering Sublime Epiphany feels chef kiss beautiful. Saves him from bouncing our creature, saves him from drawing a card which would mill us. Ooh, that felt good. Milling the Fairy formation, kind of fine because we don't need to be drawing cards. And then we're going to get a bunch of permanents out with the Starix. That's a lot of Teferi's Tutelage mill that's going to happen here again. We're getting pretty low, but our board state is pretty powerful given where our opponent is. Ouch. That was actually some really powerful cards our opponent just milled for us, so that kind of sucks. But let's go ahead and mutate the Starix onto the Greathorn. See what our opponent's got to ruin our day here. Mono blue deck with 4 mana up. Okay, just doesn't scatter. That's fine. We're going to attack them for lethal. Okay. They have to find a way to mill us 15 more cards. Because unless they can wipe our board, they're dead. They have to play Baron and take care of another one of our creatures in order to not die, and that's without them knowing about the Froghemoth in our hand. So, I don't think they're milling us 15 more cards before we can have a draw step. It's possible, but I don't think it's overly likely. Come on, opponent. Don't rope out. Okay, we're all going to draw 2 cards. That's totally fine. Yep, we mill 4. Which is still not 15. Yep, and concession. Alright. Deck looked pretty good there. It almost got to do the cool mutate thing. Didn't really get to benefit from Volo all that much, but did just kind of get to do gross blue-green things at our opponent. So that's what we want to see. That's the kind of play we want to be making. Our opponent is Vorinclex. Ooh, boy, I completely blanked on the name of the green praetor there for a minute. Yep, Vorinclex. That's annoying, but alright, they're on the mull. Once again, we have the potential for turn 3 Volo. We're going to lead on Temple of Mystery and hope to get an untapped land, play Marley Fixie on 2, and then if we have the third land that's untapped on turn 3, we get Volo on 3. This matchup, because I've played against this deck quite a bit, there we go, there's the untapped land. This matchup is kind of a race, because once they get Vorinclex down, it just hits really hard. And they like to do the same thing we do and cast rampy creatures to race out their general. The difference being that ours costs 4, the general, geez, their commander. The difference is ours costs 4 and theirs costs 6. Though they are doing the ramp thing pretty well. Oof. Okay. Well, now we can play one of these tapped lands and play Volo on 4. And probably going to do is play the Scute Swarm on turn 5, and we're definitely getting to 6th land, so hopefully we can just scute them out. Oh boy, okay, Ashaya, that's big. Oh dear Jesus. Well. And we have done nothing but draw land. Cool and good. Because from here, we're basically dead. It's going to take an awful lot to get us back in this game. Jesus. Opponent. That's 20 coming in, so blocking doesn't do anything. I don't think we're getting out of this one, folks. We'll play our Scute Swarm, get it copied with Volo, play a land, get some more Scutes, and concede. Alright. Well, that was a beating. Like I said, it was going to be a race, and they did the race part better than we did. Heal up again. Astonishing how fast you can get to 6 mana in this format. There's a lot of ramp available. I thought we were doing well, too, and I think we were, because we were also a turn away from the 6 mana on the Scute. We had 2 Scutes already, so getting to play land's pretty good. Alright, opponent goes first. We have basically definite Volo against the Drizzt opponent, because they're not going to be countering our spells. So I think we Vine Glimmer on 1, Arcane Signet on 2, Volo on 3, and then we can Great Horn. Actually, if we Woodland Mystic on 2, we can mutate the Great Horn onto the... that seems like a better line. Okay, we will play the Vine Glimmer Snarl tapped. Don't need to give away any additional information to our opponent. I know it probably doesn't matter, but it's information nonetheless. Alright, so they're ramping too. Again, they're green, so of course they're going to try to ramp, and they want to get out of this man fast. Alright, Cultivate, there we go. The difference between this deck and the other ramp decks is I don't run things like Cultivate because I want my ramp to come in the form of creatures that Volo can double. I've had Cultivate in 1 or 2 of the Volo decks I've played, but it just... Jesus. Can't keep our ramp stuff to save our lives around here. And play Thornwood Falls, gain a life, and play the Arcane Signet. Still got Volo coming. I will say, ramp definitely eats removal quickly in this format. So, oh, Vorinclex. Hey, we're back here again. Alright. We're going to play this Starix. Because it's 6/6. And then what we're going to do is play Volo next turn. Probably just going to take another hit from the Vorinclex. Go to 14 because we're not dead. And I want to be able to mutate onto this Starix. Oh, they didn't attack. Alright. Volo, and then that leaves us up Once Upon a Time. Now the Starix and Volo just need to survive until next turn, and the stuff gets wonky. Yep, I'll see it, that's fine. With Once Upon a Time, I'm probably taking a land so that I can keep cool creatures in the deck for Auspicious Starix when we mutate the Migratory Greathorn onto it. Yep, we're just going to take 6 here. No blocks. Yeah. Cast Once Upon a Time. Okay, didn't have a chance to take land, so we'll take Solemn. And we are going to mutate Great Horn onto the Starix. Thunder. Oh, right, it's a beast. We don't get to do fun Volo things. Don't need no land. Do get 2 gens here. Creature types matter. Can't tell you how many times I've forgotten that. It's been a lot. Oh, we're thinning our deck out. We're going to get to draw a lot of cards. Opponent's giving us the GGs. Mauled Skyclaves. Yep, that'll do it. 7/7 double strike will get us from 14. Alright, so we took a line and I forgot about creature types. But it's Brawl, so we can just queue up and play another one. I'm really enjoying playing Brawl right now because there's so many different decks. I mean, basically green is in every deck almost, but there's so many legendary creatures that are so cool. There's so many planeswalkers that are neat. It's really been a lot of fun to explore this format that I kind of haven't really given the time to all that much, with the exception of like the Narset video that I did a while back and then a couple other times. And the format's a lot deeper and a lot more interesting than I thought the first time I played it. Alright, we've got no ramp and very little access to blue mana here. And we're once again on the draw. We haven't had the play. I haven't had the play all night. So I'm going to mulligan, take the free mulligan here, especially because we're against Drizzt again. Well, that's arguably worse. But I think I'll keep it instead of going down to 6. Okay. So still no ramp, but we can play... I don't actually want 2 Wandering Archaics, so I'm going to play just this forest. Yep, and our opponent's going to drop Drizzt on the the turn before we drop Volo, which is going to be annoying. Oh, emergence sequence. Cool. You got it, opponent. What else? What other ramp you got? Yeah, just casual Fertilid. Alright, but we've got a Lotus Cobra too. Where were you a turn ago, Lotus Cobra? You would have been Volo this turn. Instead, our opponent gets to cast Drizzt this turn. Without tapping their snow-covered forest. We're gonna need this Kogla to do some work. Interesting. So they're definitely not casting Drizzt this turn. Sure, Primal Might, you got it. Interesting choice of line, opponent. Now we got Volo. They've probably got a fight spell. And it sucks because all of our lands go... Yep. Alright. Oh, I'm not going to stick that one out. That was just mono removal. I'd love to be able to go first. The last couple games, going first would have been actually a boon for us. But it's Brawl, which has become my mantra when playing Brawl. And we can just queue up and play again. Okay. Tosky. Again, no ramp. We are first. We have a tap land on 1. I'm going to keep this because if we draw any ramp like that Elysian Carry added, that's Volo on 3, hopefully ahead of their Tosky. Because then we can fight their stuff with the Wicked Wolf. Let's hope to dodge a fight spell. Should have said, let's hope to dodge a bully spell. Oh, I don't have any food. But I want to fight this pack leader because it can get out of hand pretty quickly. I'm going to attack him for 1. There's Tosky. Go ahead and play Solemn, which blocks Tosky. I'm going to keep both of these lands in my hand, because we now have enough to recast Volo, and I would like to have 2 Kazandu Mammoths. Bounce. That destroys artifacts and enchantments. Neither of these are those, so I want to do this. Because again, I'd like to have 2 of these, because play that and do pretty well. Assuming there's a fight spell coming. There it is. Back to the command zone with you, Volo. Yeah. Block the one that doesn't have trample. Yes, we will definitely draw a card. Alright. That feels a little better. Getting to cast the Great Henge just feels better. And we'll search and then draw Kogula. Ranger's Guile, nice. Ranger's Guile's theme goes with everything. Alright, we're in a pretty decent place here now. Yep, you got a Visionary opponent, you got it. Having the Great Henge just feels that much better. Bounce, and we'll take 4 again. There's remaining 2 back next turn, and we're fighting down the Old Growth Troll. Yes, the opponent's drawing a lot of cards, but we'll give a Kazandu Mammoth big as well. Yeah, I'm just gonna play Kogla. Bonk. Get the Old Growth Troll out of the way. Sure, opponent, you can have your Forest that taps for Morist. I'm going to go ahead and attack for 7. And play a Tangled Floral Hedron and leave up Ranger's Guile. Try to fight me now, opponent. Plan here is to cast Volo next turn and then cast 2 very large Stonecoil Serpents after that. Well, 1 large Stonecoil Serpent that doubles. Because I don't think I have any snack. Elemental, Ape, Elf, Elephant, Plant. Nope. No repeating creature types. And that's a beast. Alright, opponent had to pay far closer to retail for their Great Henge. Okay, they're Questing Beast. 5/5. So I'm going to take the hit from their Questing Beast this time and attack and destroy their Great Henge next time. Actually, we can just do... This makes it destructible, right? Yes. Okay, so we're going to do that. And let's hope our opponent can't read. I'm going to bounce Volo back to our hand to make Kogla indestructible. And yeah. That'll about do it. That makes 2 mana now, doesn't it? I'm gonna make a goose. I'll make a goose. And then the turn. Alright, opponent, show me what you got. Now we also get Volo much cheaper next turn, so we can still make very large... Oh, a Kogla of our own. That's fine. Ours did its work. Go ahead, kill our Kogla. See if I care. Haha, opponent. Mine also have hexproof. So now we'll just have to... straight to concession. Okay. We didn't even get to do the cool thing where I made a really large stone coil serpent with Volo. It made a second one. Womp womp. Alright, I think that's probably going to do us for the evening when we get an ICR here. Nice bag of holding. That sort of demonstrates the kind of stuff that this deck is capable of doing. There's some really neat lines. There are also some really like convoluted mutate little machine lines there. Play Powerhouse in the background while you're doing it. And you can also very easily screw up and accidentally have multiple creature types or creatures of the same type and not get Volo's benefit like I did that one game. Whoops. Didn't ever get to see double Thorn Mammoth on the battlefield, which is gross is the word. It's absolutely gross. But did get to see a lot of really cool stuff. Didn't get to see Voracious Great Shark flashing in. That's always a lot of fun, especially when you've got two of them. Because then they have to have two counter spells. I've dealt with that a couple of times. It's nice and fun. Still not sold in Scute Swarm, and probably going to cut it for another mutate creature. As a matter of fact, let me look at mutate creatures. So, Sea Dasher Octopus, I like a lot because of the drawing of cards, and Archipelagore. Actually, it's probably going to be cut Scute Swarm for Archipelagore because that card is nutty bonkers and is a great way to win the game. So, there you go. That's the change that I've made to the deck as I had it. Here is the list as I've got it, and those are the creatures that mutate because I'm still sorting by that. But here is the list as I've got it. It will also be in the description below the video, and you can expect more Brawl content from me. If you like what you're seeing, please use the buttons and things down below here to like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel, tell your friend, tell your mom, tell your friend's mom. And you can find us anywhere the words Superliminal and Films are next to each other on the internet. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, anything social, we're kind of there. Bumble, Peach, places like that. But until the next time I see you, bye everybody!